Hello, everybody. Welcome to Yes Have Some Podcast. My name is Craig Goldberg. Thank you so much for being here. We are back from New York Comic Con, although we've had some content since then. We had a toy anxiety last night. Abby, I don't even know if you might not even know this. Jacob and I did
stream last night.
We did a half-hour stream last night, just talking about HasLab stuff.
It was a pointless rehash of three other videos we've done so far.
Guess what?
Okay.
What?
It's got 1,300 views.
Well, that's great. I mean, it's not pointless. It's not pointless. But when we got done, I was like, "What did we do? What? There's no new information here."
That the thumbnail said, "What'd you just call it? A
pointless rehash."
Pointless rehash. Sorry. Yeah,
that'll be next.
That would have been a good thumbnail.
That'll be next week's. Hey, you know what's really funny is people really liked it when Jake goes, "Are there any updates?" And I was like, "There's updates, baby." People loved that. But yeah, we're back from New York Comic Con. We had a ton of fun. We talked a little bit about it on Toy Anxiety, but we'll go into some more detail tonight. Let me introduce my co-hosts. Abigail Gardner, how are you?
Hey, I'm great. I'm in my podcast space at my podcast table, and everything's functioning for now.
Your PCT?
So I'm happy. Yeah, happy podcast table.
Podcast table.
Cool.
Podcast table.
Great. And Jacob, we just did a little Patreon episode, got a little deep. Did we not?
We did. It was great. It was fun. You should anybody who's not on the Patreon should check it out, because it literally was like a 30-minute of just extra sort of existential rambling from the three of us, but I think it was pretty good.
I think each week on the Patreon episode, it's like, sure, we could like sit there and be like, hey, this week we're reviewing Karate Kid 2. It's like, or I could just give you guys a fun prompt like, hey, how often do you contemplate your own mortality? And we'll just go from there.
Which I don't have to answer that right now, do I?
Constantly.
I don't even like that you said that.
Triggered.
My bad. Well, cool. We're gonna have some fun tonight. We'll talk about Comic-Con. We'll talk about we should probably address this right off the top. Just before we started recording, our good friends at Mondo have put out their tease for the brand new Real Ghostbusters Mondo figures, the first set with Peter Venkman and Sam Hain. They haven't officially announced the on sale date, but Mondo kind of has a pattern.
Yeah.
So are we thinking next Tuesday?
The way Mondo is, it might be tomorrow.
Right, exactly. So
yeah,
Abby, they could be on sale by the time people even hear this.
Yeah. Hopefully. That's the best. If you can hear us, then just go get it.
Yeah. I laughed. I don't want to give people's business away, so no names, but they're in a group chat today. I laughed.
A group chat.
I laughed so hard at one of our friends and what they said about something specifically related to this. And I can't say anything more than that.
Yeah,
so
that's great for listeners. Listeners
love
hearing what you just said.
It's not great for me either. I don't know what you're referencing.
That group chat gets me sometimes because if you're talking about the text.
Text.
Because I was tattooing, and I look over at my phone and I see like a red 47, and I'm like,
I know what we're talking about.
I'm like, hey, I got to stop so I can read these texts real quick. We need to take a break.
Someone's like, could you not stop my tattoo? And you're like, shut the fuck up. It's time to read some text.
Like, will you read this to me while I tattoo?
Yeah. Here, read this.
Read this. Do the voice.
With no context.
And it's just me like, have you guys agreed upon the packaging schemes yet?
That's a real text.
That's a real text. Anyways, super excited about that. So we'll have more information on that as it happens. But people seem really happy about that. Obviously, the HasLab Ecto is on fire. I think it's almost at 7,000. So stay tuned to especially our YouTube content. We're going to have a lot of coverage. I think the Hasbro team is going to be on Toy Anxiety next week. I think I'm likely going to cross-post that episode as a YHS episode too. I think Mr. Dole is on vacation. So I just want to help.
He can't tell us what to do.
He can't tell us what to do. It's a full-on YHS bootleg. A YHS takeover.
That's what we should call it.
Yes, I love it.
But anyways, so let's get into some stuff. Abigail, we're back from New York.
Yep.
We did a lot. Have we told the full story yet of the morning of going to the Firehouse? Has that been shared?
We haven't done an episode of YHS since.
We haven't shared anything.
I just don't remember if we talked about it. Well, let's talk about it. So we went to New York for Comic-Con. And we obviously had a great time. We had a panel there. Thank you so much to Jay Glatfelter for setting that up for the Toy Tubers Unite Part 3. And then we had a lot of stuff scheduled. We did a ton of work with Hasbro. You know, we knew, guys, I think we can finally admit, we knew a little bit about the HasLab. Jacob, did we not?
Craig, I just wish people knew the amount of Ghostbusters things that we know before they know it. Because it's almost everything. So
yeah,
we did know about the HasLab.
I'll put it this way. It's so close to everything that when a Ghostbusters thing happens that I didn't know about beforehand,
you get annoyed.
I get very stressed.
Why didn't somebody call me about this?
I get a text.
Does this mean they don't like us anymore?
Right. I get a text like, hey, there's a new Ghostbusters shirt at Kohl's. I'm like, there's what?
Who approved this?
And then I look at it and I go, no, seriously, who fucking approved that?
But hey, but in all seriousness, part of the Patreon episode we were just talking about, we have put ourselves in a position where we are a trusted source. And in this last couple of years, we have been able to be a part of projects, some that are past, some we still can't even talk about yet.
Right.
In an official matter for Ghostbusters and other things.
Right.
And that is a really great feeling.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. I'm racking my brain. I'm like, what are these future things? I can't even figure it out.
Abby just gave you
I just gave it away.
You did?
I'm not going to do it again, though. It's for those who are watching.
What'd you do?
Craig, what is something you've been spending
What's something you're working on
hours and hours of your time on?
That you get
exactly.
feedback on.
Right.
It's like
we sufficiently annoyed everybody because they have no idea.
I was like,
now everybody's.
I was like in my head. I was like, "Are you guys talking about the?" I'm like thinking. Then I'm like, I don't.
What
know. I'm just like in my brain. I'm like, I'm trying to manifest something. Like, oh, you talking about that Steven Spielberg
that thing from
thing? Wait, you're not talking about that old Back to the Future Robert Zemeckis? I'm just like hoping there's a thing I don't know about that no one told me about.
No.
No, yeah, we got cool shit going on. I mean, it's awesome because we get to share it with you guys, and you guys are so supportive of us. Thank you. Yeah. It's awesome. We did sit on the plot of Frozen Empire for like a year and a half, and that was really hard. But imagine knowing what we do, listening to us, and trusting us with like any information.
Insane. Yeah, it's insane. Yeah.
Someone's made a mistake. Someone is fucked up.
Don't say that.
Anyways, we did have a little bit of an insight on the HasLab because I will say this, and Abby, you can talk about this more. The team at Hasbro, first of all, really not fun stuff happening at Hasbro this week. They had another round of layoffs. A lot of people were affected. It really, really sucks. You know, good vibes your way if you were affected. Fortunately, some of the people that we know were not affected. But it's really tough to go through that and see coworkers go through that and all that. But having said that, Emily and Pat on the Hasbro Ghostbusters team are amazing. And they, for the last 8 or 9 months or whatever the development was on this project, have gone out of their way to ensure an incredible amount of accuracy. And that it was an offer that people and toy collectors could get really excited about. So we talked about it. The EctoTech team, you know, Greg and Nick with the Ecto-1 NJ and Kip at Let's Red Some Red Lights. They were like the Ecto-1 consultants. And then we were able to kind of like be there as like Ghostbusters hardcore fans, podcasters, toy collectors, and overall, you know, cheerleaders going, yes, this is great. You know, we did the stuff at Comic-Con and everything. But Abby, now that it's out there in the open, everybody knows about it. Like, how do you feel?
How do I feel? I feel a sense of like relief, but also pride and excitement. I think that Emily and Pat deserve like everything for putting so much detail and so much research into this project. I've loved being involved with it in the capacity that we have, like, since the beginning, and I've really enjoyed becoming friends with both of them also. The stuff that we got to do when we were up in New York was incredible. Like the day that we went to the Firehouse, if we can talk about that at all.
Let's tell the story. Should we do
very cool. Yeah. That was a really cool day.
It was a cool day. So part of the HasLab rollout, if you've seen the video, they did some filming, or they were planning on doing some filming at the Firehouse with replica Ectos, these really great Ecto-1s from Ecto-1 NJ, and then the new one, the EctoTech Ecto-1A, which made its debut there. So we knew that we had to get back to the Javits Center for the Mondo panel to cover the Ghostbusters stuff and then do a Mondo booth tour. The call time at the Firehouse was 8:30 a.m. and we were staying in New Jersey. So guys, the amount of mental planning it took for me, a couple times Jake would ask, like, why are you talking all of this out loud? I was like, I just have to say these things out loud to hear them, to make sure that it makes sense.
Because you got a tunnel you got to deal with.
There's a tunnel. But Jacob, what we did was, our plan was we're going to leave the hotel around 8 to get to the Firehouse at 8:30 and spend at least an hour there to get back to the Javits Center. So it all culminated with us calling an Uber. I called 1-800-Uber. I asked for a car. They were like, sir, I don't know what
Your
number
Uber driver answered.
Yeah, some guy named Ron answered. Ron Daniels, actually. He's like, who is? We ordered the car. We were out in the hotel, outside of the lobby, waiting outside. It's a very congested area. We're in New Jersey. We're sitting there. The car is taking forever.
It's New Jersey, and it's like a 4-lane road with a divider, like a big cement divider going down. So like there's not an ability to cross it. It's very congested.
Very congested. And then I don't know. You guys tell the story, because I was staring at my phone. I can't even.
I was the one that I would like to say I was the one who heralded the call and was like, trumpeting, because I wasn't trumpeting. I wish. I don't know how to play the trumpet. But anyway, so we were sitting, outside of our Holiday Inn Express. I was kind of like, all right, had my coffee. And then I looked at the road and I saw an Ecto-1 like coming down the road. And I was like, hey guys, that's it. I was like, that's the car. And then like I made eye contact with Experienced Explorers, who has a great channel. And he waved and was like, come on, like motioning. And I was like, do you guys want to, like, should we go? Should we do this?
So Jacob, like, I want to get in Jake's head for a second, because Jacob, like, what was going through your mind while we sat there in an already stressful morning where we're already kind of in a rush, we're waiting on this Uber, and then Abby goes, oh, an Ecto-1, and I look up and I immediately go, oh no, that's a 59. Like, that's not just, that's not a minivan Ecto-1. That's
I think it took a minute for it to compute for all three of us, because we looked at it and we were like, oh, cool, there's an Ecto. What are the odds of that? And then it took a second. We were like, oh, that's the car. They're going where we're going.
Exactly.
To the Firehouse.
It took a second.
A school bus, kind of.
And then it was the kind of thing where we were like, can we just get in this car? Can we just do this? And and they were like Abby said, they started waving us on, so we just ran into the road and got in the car.
And it's
a busy New Jersey intersection.
And shout out to Nick, because like that is an Ecto-1.
Yeah, it was
hell yeah.
The inside's cool. There's a couple like leather, bench seats, and there's like a containment unit in there, and the packs. The outside is incredibly accurate. Like, it is a 59 Cadillac Miller Meteor. But we get in, and we went from like waiting on a crappy Uber and like preparing for like car sickness and all that stuff to now we're in an Ecto-1 driving through New York
to the Firehouse.
Yes.
Okay.
The best. Smelling the gas.
Yeah.
And Abby was the first to notice that as you ride in the Ecto-1 in New York to the Firehouse, if you look out the window, you see that every other car in the rush hour traffic is filming you.
Yeah.
Which is
dude, no one's gonna believe.
Oh, they're making another one. They're making another movie.
Yeah.
They're doing it.
Saw the filming.
It's a Walmart commercial. But that was really cool. Like,
it was an awesome vantage point to be sitting and to be able to look out the back seat and to see everyone kind of marveling. That's a super like fun rush. But yeah, just being able to ride with them and catching a ride, not having to pay for our Uber, I thought that was like really kind and fortuitous and serendipitous, and I absolutely love that. That memory will be cherished forever. Mm-hmm. And to be able to ride up to the Firehouse and walk out of the Ecto, you just feel awesome. Like, it was so cool.
Right. And how disappointing for the people who are just pedestrians at the Firehouse when it pulls up.
3 nobodies get out of the car. They're like, oh, cool.
I don't know if it's on camera. I think Experience Explorers might have it, but when we opened the door and I popped out, I went, "Hello, New York," like a fucking dork. But you can't help it because, like, guys, we've been doing this a long time. You know, can I get real for you? Somebody at work. This was a real aha moment for me. This happened yesterday. Somebody at work was like, "Hey, Craig, can I ask?" Because I was talking a little bit about Comic-Con. They're like, "Craig, let me ask you something. Like, just be real with me. Do you ever like think about all this Ghostbusters stuff you do, and you're kind of just over it and sick of it, but you're like so deep into it that like you just have to keep it going?" And I went, "Absolutely not. Yeah. Like, it is just not. It does not feel." Like, it is hard work and it can be exhausting and all the travel and the content and all that, but it is like we talked about. It's fun. It's
everybody else is just going to work every day. And then
that's what I want to be like. If I wasn't doing this and I was watching someone else do it, I would want to be doing this. And I get that too when I come back from a trip and coworkers are like, "Oh, so did they pay for you to do all this? And are they putting you up in all these things?" And I'm like, "No, but
we're toy influencers."
Is in the experience of it and those moments that I'll be thinking about later on when I'm old.
The lines in Frozen Empire. We are paying you in memories. Okay, so we get to the Firehouse. Hasbro's there. They're doing their filming, and it's just a good time. And then, I don't know, we were there for probably an hour and a half, but then I want to kind of paint this picture. The Ecto-1's there. We're doing pictures, videos. Abby and I go grab a coffee. We see Cotton Weary. We told that story on Toy Anxiety, but yes, we saw the real Leaf Schreiber getting coffee. Justice for Cotton Weary. And we come back, we're hanging out, and then we hear the Ecto-1A is going to be coming. And I'm going to talk about Jake like he's not here for a second. The look, like, the childlike one, like, we all love the Ecto-1A, but I really feel like I was watching Jacob like have one of the best moments of his life, like interacting with this car. And it really made me feel good. Yeah. Am I overstating it?
No. I mean, Ghostbusters 2, I love Ghostbusters 2. I watch it probably more than the original Ghostbusters.
Sure, yeah.
And there's something about the Ecto-1A. It's insane looking. I've just always been in love with that car. And I've never seen the Ecto-1A in person before. We've been around Ectos a lot. It's still always impressive when you're around like an actual 59,
sure,
accurate. But we've been around them a lot. We've been around the screen used Ecto a lot. We've been inside of it. And but I've never stood in front of an Ecto-1A before. So it's it's Monday morning, or what was it? Friday morning. It's nice and cool. It's nice and cool out. It's early. There's not a giant crowd of fucking people dressed like Ghostbusters. It's just like maybe 10 people, small crew, and the Ecto-1A rides up. You know what I mean? Like, it is like a dream scenario to be there and like just have like a small gathering, a small moment of just like being able to see the Ecto-1 and the Ecto-1A as accurate as possible in front of the Firehouse with the sign hang. We've been to the Firehouse so many times, but like being there, the sign's there, the cars are there. It's insane. It is such a crazy feeling to be there. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it was great.
It's like a gatekeeper keymaster coming together type moment of like completion.
Yes, it feels like sex.
Yeah, it feels like sex. It's amazing. It was a great thing to see. It felt like completion. It felt like like finishing and crossing the T's and dotting the I's to have both cars there. Maybe one day it'll be possible to have every iteration, but for us, the original and Ghostbusters 2, those two Ectos are really important. And to be able to go from that to like looking at miniature versions of them and like talking about them, it was like a extremely immersive Ghostbusters day. And I really,
it was immersive.
Yeah,
it was immersive.
I was immersed in Ghostbusters. There were donuts from Krispy Kreme that were
well, we'll get
Ghostbusters
there.
themed. Yeah, we'll get to it.
So, just an unbelievably fun morning. And then, so the original plan, I think, we didn't think they were going to reveal the actual HasLab till the panel at 5:00 that night, but the reveal happened, I think, at noon. So not long after we actually left the Firehouse, but just a great morning, really cool people. So shout out to all those guys. Shout out to Experience Explorers. Check out that YouTube channel for really great coverage of all this stuff. Similar, adventures to what we have. And then we talked a lot about this on Toy Anxiety, but we went and covered the Mondo stuff, Mondo booth, Mondo panel. They've got great stuff coming. I mean, continuing to, I don't know. I just think when I think about cool stuff happening in toys right now, bless you.
Thank you.
Did you disappear? Okay, there you are.
What do you want to do it on camera?
I thought you sneezed yourself off the face of the earth.
I'm gone now. I'm in the void.
The Ghostbusters void. No, the Star Wars void.
Looking for John.
No, it's just awesome. And I think what Mondo's doing is really, I don't know. It feels important. It feels like a game changer, but I'm super excited about the real Ghostbuster stuff.
Yeah.
Then the other main event having to do with the HasLab was we did go to the Hasbro breakfast, which Abby just referenced, and they had the models out. You can see all the footage on YouTube. It was phenomenal. Really, really good stuff. Anything else on this stuff? Any highlights? We met Paul from Spook Central. He's been running the Ghostbusters website for like 30 years. Talked to him for a little bit. He was taking donut boxes. I love Ghostbusters fans. If there's a logo on it, they're like, I'm taking it. I don't care. They're like going to throw them away. He's like, don't throw away these donut boxes.
You're going in my attic.
These are for shelf space.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, he's a good guy. And we talked to him, and then, just got to hang out. We spent a lot of time with the HasLab.
Yeah. That was cool being in there. Cause it was like, we do the Hasbro breakfast at, San Diego Comic-Con, but this one felt different. It was a little more, it was at the Hasbro offices. It felt smaller. It felt a little more exclusive. And it was, we got to talk to Ryan Ting for a little bit and see all that other stuff, but it was really heavily like everybody's seeing these Ectos for the first time. So it was like a good, time to like inspect and get your videos and stuff like that. It was fun.
It was really good.
And then,
by time you hear this maybe would have already happened, but we did some filming for the Hasbro 1027 event, which is on 1027, which is just a couple of days from now. So, overall, really great. I have very good feelings about what they're doing, and hopefully they can keep Plasma Series going for a long time to come. So that was kind of like all the Ghostbusters highlights, but Abby, did you want to talk about your other New York Comic Con moment?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, absolutely. For me, conventions, like one of the things that I originally started going to conventions for was so that I could get autographs and meet famous people, because that's something that's exclusive to those environments. So yeah, when it comes to New York City Comic Con, there were a lot of people there that were on the guest list that were interesting and cool.
Good guest list.
Really, really strong guest list. For me, though, it was like we basically had a jam-packed schedule. Like everything was kind of pushed back to back. There was a lot of like going from one place and coming back and then running to get to another. So I didn't know if I'd have an opportunity to go down to the Artist Alley area and if I would be able to do and have time to wait in a line for a photo op with anybody. But the person that I wanted to meet the most was Mike Flanagan. He is a creator and writer of incredible material, incredible TV shows. He's adapted Stephen King's work, Dr. Sleep. He's done Midnight Mass and the most recent, like Edgar Allan Poe, Fall the House of Usher show on Netflix. He did Haunting of Hill House, Haunting of Bly Manor. He has an understanding of human beings and grief and suffering and also like what makes life sweet and beautiful, which is something that Stephen King is the master of, like showing the dark and the light next to each other. I really find his stuff to be very like cathartic, and it's actually helped me, specifically the Midnight Mass, like the finale episode. I like came to terms with death a little bit, just like watching that, and he makes things seem like he presents them as they are, and it's his work is really, really good and really terrifying. So I was really excited to be able to meet him. And I was kind of stressed out, honestly, at the convention. I was like, there's tons and tons of people. I've been exposed to so much in the day, so many taxi cab rides, etc. So when I was down there, Craig was the one that was pushing me. He's like, you should really go do this. And I am very grateful that I did. Jacob, you supported me, and we got in line, and it was not that long of a line, which is nice. His wife, Kate Siegel, was also next to him, and I would kind of regret not going into her line too. But I got everything I needed when I went down Mike Flanagan's line, and I got to him finally. I chose a Midnight Mass poster, as I was saying, because that's my favorite of all of his work that he's done. Here you go. So you can see this here. I got his signature right there, Mike Flanagan, Midnight Mass. Yeah, it was really
good looking
like,
poster. They did a good job.
It's
on
a great
that.
poster. Yeah. He was extremely friendly and like helped me to sort of come out of my moment of stress and to realize like, oh yeah, this is a really nice person who has affected me and created stuff that's really important to me. And that stuff's that's what makes life worth it, in my opinion. So yeah, he took a picture, and in the picture that we got together, Kate Siegel was photobombing like from behind.
It's very funny.
It was awesome. Yeah. And I'm so happy. Yeah. I ended up getting a picture kind of with both of them. And I made a post on my Instagram, and yeah, he's awesome. His shows are awesome. Watch them, please. Read Stephen King books. And if you ever interact with either of them, Mike Flanagan, or
tell
Kate
him we
Siegel,
said hi. Sorry.
Yeah. Tell him hi. They're really cool.
Mike Flanagan has, I don't know, when did Hill House come out? Like 2017, 2018.
Yeah.
He's not really on my radar. Until Haunting a Hill House, but since then, Mike Flanagan has become kind of a constant. He's somebody. I think Haunting a Hill House, Bly Manor, Midnight Mass, and Usher, Fall of House Usher were like four of the best shows of the last 20 years. Like, he's, in fact, I just read today, the Victoria Pedretti, she's the main actress in Bly Manor. She's also in Haunting a Hill House. She's rumored. This is just such a tangent, but she's rumored to play Harley Quinn in James Gunn's DCU. Okay, back to me. Mike Flanagan's amazing. Dr. Sleep is so much better than it has any business being. He's somehow, and Jake, you could speak way better, more elegantly, both of you can, about his connection with Stephen King and his ability to adapt that for the screen and just make it great. He's done a lot of Stephen King, but his next big thing is I think he's wanted to take a stab at one of the big horror franchises. He's talked about Nightmare on Elm Street a lot. I think that's his dream, but he's doing an Exorcist movie. And I asked him about it, and he said it's keeping him up at night, but he thinks it's going to be very good and very scary. And listen, we just had an Exorcist movie a couple years ago. Last year, we talked about it a lot. It wasn't very good.
It was the opposite of what.
Very bad and not scary.
It did keep me up at night for the wrong reasons. But Jacob, thoughts on Flanagan?
Yeah, I mean, everything Abby just said. He's the best. He's creating literally the best TV right now, and he has been for the last couple of years. Midnight Mass might be my favorite bit of TV ever. Like, it is so good. And his Stephen King stuff it's top notch. Like Dr. Sleep and Gerald's Game they're both like perfect adaptations, I think. So, and he's got more coming. He's got The Life of Chuck coming. He's working on some other things. He's still trying to get Dark Tower off the ground. It was cool.
Wasn't Carrie just announced?
Well, he's writing.
Carrie was announced, but he's writing and
Oh.
producing. We'll see. We'll see how that.
I mean,
goes,
that gets me because that was my favorite or my first Stephen King book, so that would be really cool.
Yeah.
That was actually also Stephen King's first Stephen King book.
Yeah, we know about The Wastebasket and Tabitha.
But it's great, and he was super nice, super down to earth, and like,
yeah, he was cool.
It's kind of, and there was a lot of good, like, they went on, like, we were busy, we didn't meet everybody, obviously, but like Ty West was there, Eli Roth was there, Walton Goggins. If he wasn't there Saturday, I would have met him if he was there Saturday. But just cool guests. Abby, that's a cool poster. Mm-hmm. Jacob, is there a Stephen King you'd like to see Mike Flanagan adapt?
Oh man, I'd love to see somebody make like a good version of it, and I think he could do that.
Whoa, hold on.
What?
So this is interesting.
Yeah.
Do we not think the 2017, 2016, 2018, whatever that was?
Oh, I think those are fine. I think they're pretty good. But Craig, I don't know if there's something. So the first one was better than the second one.
I agree with that.
I still like the second one, but that is a huge book.
Right.
And neither of the adaptations that have come out so far, they both have a lot of good in them. They both have a lot of bad in them. And I mean the 1990 version and the 2016 or whatever. But they leave so much out. It needs to be a series to really capture everything. And and there's stuff they got really right in the Andy Muschietti films. But I think Mike Flanagan thinks the same way Stephen King does. I think they have like the same kind of brain and they focus on the same kind of stuff. And that's why his adaptations like work so well. And I would like to see him do it because I think all the things that I thought they got wrong, I think he would get right.
Yeah.
So I'd love to see him do it. I mean, I'd like to see him do a lot of like. There's so many.
I'd like to see him do Revival.
Revival would be amazing.
Revival would be so badass. Yeah.
I mean, like you could say it about almost every Stephen King book. Like I would be fine with him doing literally anything and everything. I would say The Long Walk, but somebody's making that right now, which is kind of crazy. Yeah, I don't know, dude. I could make a giant list.
Who's making The Long Walk?
I forget, but they're working on it right now.
Francis Lawrence. Yeah. Crazy. He's great, man.
That story's brutal, so I'll be excited to see that.
Yeah. It's just cool. Like, I mean, I appreciate it from a different perspective from you guys because I'm not actively reading the Stephen King books, but his cultural impact is undeniable. And like Stephen King fans are, I think you can compare it to Ghostbusters a little bit or any one of these big franchises where like Stephen King fans are like, when you find each other, it's like, oh, you're Stephen King fan. Like, let's go. Let's have a conversation. You understand and see the world in a different way. Like they are fanatic. I mean, even like the Dark Tower is like a hardcore Stephen King fan will tell you like, oh, the Dark Tower is the greatest piece of science fiction and fantasy literature, that's ever existed. It's an undeniable fact. Right. And the fact that Mike Flanagan exists as like a filmmaker and a film writer and producer who can channel that and put it on the screen. And Stephen King fans are like, he gets it. And listen, there's been a lot of Stephen King adaptations. A lot of them aren't good.
That's because they're missing that, like, I don't know, the tenderness. And like, I think that Mike Flanagan is himself kind of a loser. Like maybe could be part of the losers club. Like that's part of being in the group. You're like
Abby told
a little sensitive. You've probably, yeah. I did not. I was I withheld myself when I met him. I was going to be like, "You helped me come to terms with death."
No,
but I didn't. So
Don't
I was
do
like,
that.
"That's just not the
Weird
combo
thing
I
to
want
say
to have."
to a stranger.
Yeah, I was like,
I think
it
the girl before us told him.
kind of did one of those, and it's okay. And I was like, "That's beautiful." She had a really beautiful copy of The Shining, which made me kind of mad that I didn't bring mine. But also, I liked getting this poster signed. I'm going to frame it. But yeah, it's like the Stephen King side is like that. I think non-Stephen King readers don't understand is that like sensitive kind of picked on like little like the sensitive constant reader is like that's what brings us together in the community. I think it's like an actual like a kindness and an understanding of each other. That at least I found when it comes to reading Stephen King books. Like I think they're inspiring. I read them for the way the words are written, and how beautifully he writes. And not so much for the scary stuff, but the scary stuff is always awesome.
So there was originally going to be after Dr. Sleep an Overlook Hotel prequel that he was involved with. That didn't happen. Dr. Sleep unfortunately didn't do too well in theaters. Here's a little. You guys ready for time for a new segment called Bold Predictions with Craig?
Okay.
Yeah.
I think in our lifetime, in the next 15 to 20 years, Mike Flanagan will remake The Shining as a limited series.
I don't think so. I don't think so, and I can tell you why.
All right, let's do it.
I would be on board with it, especially because it would be accurate to the book, and the movie is not. But that's also why he will not do it. He's not going to adapt. He's not going to make another adaptation of the book after he's already adapted the sequel, and he had to change key things in the sequel to make it work with the movie.
Sure.
So now readapting the book would make it not make sense with his movie. It would just be weird, I think.
Yeah, he followed up right. He followed up the sequel to the movie.
But I bet you somebody will.
I'm having a really weird deja vu right now. I hope I haven't had this Craig's take.
We probably have had this tangent. Most likely, because it just,
But I will say this. I am excited about The Exorcist because they really screwed it up with that last one. And I wonder
so bad.
I do wonder what his approach is going to be, because I'm assuming he's not going to remake The Exorcist. And I'm assuming it'll take place within the original canon somehow. But I think they need to wipe the slate clean and just come out. I think Blumhouse should make a formal announcement that
they need to apologize.
They need to announce,
like the church, need to come forth and apologize to all those they've hurt.
They need to announce that last movie was not real. That's just that was a fun joke.
Those are just joke emails.
Yeah. David Gordon Green. Unfortunately, it's just not good. It's not good. Listen, movies turn out not good for a million reasons, and a lot of times it has nothing to do with the director. So who knows? But it's not good.
His horror movie track record's great. So
Evil Dies Tonight.
Body and the blood. The body and the blood.
This movie really sucks.
Stereo. This movie really sucks.
Oh yeah, it's the revenge of what's her fucking name? Our constant beef with Linda Blair.
Oh yeah.
Any other thoughts?
Say the B word.
The other B word, the Linda Blair Witch Project.
We have two other B words.
The Linda Blair Witch Project's actually the name of her dog rescue. It was crazy.
Wait, that would be cool if it was. She should change it to that.
Hi, welcome to the Linda Blair Witch Project. As in, which one of these dogs do you want?
Which dog will you adopt?
It's spelled WHICH. Should we, Jacob? I teased this on the Patreon episode. I don't know. We're still talking about New York.
Yeah, we can talk about it. Well, let me listen. It's something.
I love this. This is my favorite.
Well, I don't. Sometimes I don't understand. Like, you ever sit back and like think about how like ass backwards the human race is, and like
often
how we claim to be the smartest, most advanced. It's 2024. We got cars that drive themselves. But we have like really awful blind spots.
Popcorn.
Like we can't hold on. Wait, popcorn? We
can't.
It's
just an interesting thing we figured out how to make it in the microwave and stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah. We've done that, but we can't figure out like healthcare or this political mess.
Right.
We can't figure out how to stop killing each other.
That's true.
We torture trillions of animals and then pretend it doesn't exist.
Mm-hmm.
And also something that I think we need to talk about is we can't figure out public restrooms.
Yeah.
And I don't understand because like we are like a species of convenience and everybody wants everything to be easy and streamlined and everything. And bathrooms are public restrooms are a hellscape.
We are only like animals just go to the bathroom outside. We're like not far from that. We're like a notch above.
We might as well be just doing that. Abby, I haven't been in a woman's bathroom, so I can't speak
it's all a hellscape.
I can't speak to your experience, but every men's restroom
I have
that has like, why do we have urinals?
Oh, yeah. Why do we have urinals?
Can we just fucking get rid of a urinal? Hey, being at New York Comic Con,
yeah,
walking into a bathroom that literally has a giant line out of it and you have to wait. And then when you finally get up to where there's a space, the urinal spaces are the only ones you can get into. So you're at a urinal. You're less than a foot away from another man on both sides of you, a stranger most of the time. There's a line of people standing there watching your back, waiting for you to get done pissing. It smells awful in there. And you got just a row of dudes with their dicks out, just pissing. And I hate it. Like it is so gross to me. It's weird. It's like using the public restroom is like degrading. And it's like everybody's got to do it. It's like weird and embarrassing and nobody talks about it. But there should be better standards.
So
I like private stalls. Private stalls.
Nobody wants to stand in a urinal by another man.
All I can say is look how happy that man.
Look at this on the urinal Wikipedia. Look at this guy.
I got my backpack on, so I don't have to set it down.
Real quick, Abby.
Restrooms. Yeah.
Before you go, I have to read this. This is very important. Okay. Then we'll go to you. From the Wikipedia, a urinal is a sanitary plumbing fixture.
Sanitary. It's not.
Hold on, this is my favorite part. Urinals are often provided in public toilets for male users. Here's my favorite. They are usually used in a standing position.
For you sitters out there. You sitters.
Usually.
Urination only, it says.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I just think like public bathrooms are all really gross. And I feel like in 2024, we should be figuring out a way to make them better and they could be nicer. And it's like, it's rare to find a nice bathroom these days. They're all just utterly destroyed, gross. And I think urinals should get the fuck out of here. I don't ever want to see another urinal. I want them to be abolished. Is somebody who's running for president, are they on this? Who's going to abolish urinals? I'll vote for you.
Abby, what do you have any thoughts on this? I think about this all the time.
I do too.
Excuse me. I imagine if I were to use the men's restroom, that would be a stress of mine because I like privacy and that's like part of the act of going to the bathroom is being comfortable to be able to do that. And I feel that stress. We don't have urinals in the ladies' restroom. And I want to also say specifically
that's a bold statement.
We don't. Is that something I should? You know, it doesn't matter. When it comes to
honey,
me,
I just called you honey. I
okay.
think it's the first time I've ever called you honey on the podcast. I'm allowed. She's my life partner. Deal with it. What happened?
Pulled her headphones up.
Yeah, I pulled out. Should go in the men's restroom. Basically, what I was going to say is it's a similar experience. And I don't like waiting in line because I do have OCD and like calculating the amount of people in front of me and thinking about what they're going to do and the fact that I have to sit and wait for it.
You start asking them, ma'am, what are you going to do?
What are you about to do in there? And the fact that like a lot of the doors leave like this much room on either side, so you're just like kind of like struggling. It's a sensory nightmare. It's very overwhelming for me. I'm not a fan. I would prefer to go into an airplane bathroom because at least I have a door to close and like nobody else can bother me. But yeah, I like a nice cushy bathroom that's like got a waiting area and a big mirror. Like the bathrooms at the Fox Theater are my favorite bathrooms anywhere. I like them. Bathrooms at theaters in general, even the Plaza Theater has a really nice setup. So yeah, it's tough to find a good spot. It's tough to get comfortable. I agree with you.
I wonder, I'm sure every country has their own unique, specific, types of facilities, right? And I'm sure there's probably more privacy in other countries. I just know specifically in the United States, like, if you're on a road trip, if you're going to a gas station or a Walmart or even like at New York Comic Con, like it's just bad. There's no privacy. Like Jacob said, it's dirty. There's no care. It's just like, it's like human beings at their worst.
I'm honestly surprised how bad all of the Javits Center bathrooms are because the Javits Center is nice and it's a nice setup and I like being there. I think it's a good spot for a convention, but every bathroom I went into inside of that place was awful.
I will say this for the Javits Center, for anyone going there, I found that the only acceptable bathroom was on the very, very, very top floor. So you'd have to make the sacrifice of going up like 3 or 4 elevators and then climbing higher and then going because it's so hard to get to. That was the better one. Yeah. But it shouldn't be like that.
Google says that Japan has the best bathrooms. Public
I've read about it.
I believe that.
I've read that they're very that a lot of them are like more sensitive to sensory stuff. Like you can play music inside of a stall to kind of cover things up, which I think that's great.
They're very clean. They're self-cleaning. They have bidets. Mm-hmm. Can we make bidets a thing on YHS in the YHS universe?
I've never used a bidet before, but
I think it's fitting. Yeah, I think you like it.
What do you do when you get thirsty?
It's my secret. Washing my hair.
Wait, what? You do a handstand on the bidet?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, it sucks. Being a human, man, we haven't figured it out. Like
it's weird.
There's got to be a better way.
We pretend to be a civilized people, and we just aren't.
We're animals
until we get those toilets figured out.
Like at least
until we get rid of urinal, until I don't have to stand by another man whose piss is like, not every single person is good at like, people are you ever like walk into sometimes you walk into a bathroom and you're like, why is there pee over here? Or why is there poop over here? Not everybody knows how to just like pee correctly.
Yeah.
So like,
they didn't have good home training.
A foot apart from somebody.
Yeah.
Who's like, it's so fucking weird, dude.
I will be honest. My biggest issue is the remember on Seinfeld where Jerry was calling in the fake bomb threat and his request was to have the doors at the baseball stadium go all the way to the bottom.
Yeah.
Lord.
That's why. Well,
that's the sign of a good bathroom.
Have you ever seen that?
The doors touch the floors.
There was like a viral clip from a podcast a couple years ago. And it was real. I don't know who it is, or I can't remember what, but there's these people talking, and they're talking about using the bathroom, and the guy is like talking about how you get poop in your hand when you poop, and they're like,
I remember that. Yeah,
have you seen that? And the girl's like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "Well, you pull the poop out."
Oh god!
And it's not a bit. He's not joking.
Yeah,
he's like, you poop in your hand, and then you clean your hand, and like. And it's like, you've gone your whole life thinking nobody ever taught you. Hey, no one had to teach me that you don't poop in your hand. But there are people out there that just don't know how to
this is
not be disgusting. You know what I mean?
We've gone down an interesting road today.
And I have to share that bathroom with people who think it's okay to put poop in your hand.
Well, that guy's not going to be in there, probably.
How do you know that? How do you know other people don't do that?
Hey, listen. One of my favorite things that's happening right now is lately, especially after this HasLab campaign launched, I am realizing that human beings, by and large, are not smart. Just across the board.
I could have told you that.
Yeah, but I needed some HasLab reinforcement. But yeah, maybe we just need to be smarter. I have a feeling, Abby, thinking about this specifically, I'm wondering if a lot of this is specifically an American issue or a North American issue.
I don't know. I think this is our Shark Tank pitch. We figure out a new way to do bathrooms.
What would replace the urinal?
Another stall. You don't need to replace it. Something with a fucking door so I can pull my dick out in privacy. Don't put me in a room with 5 to 10 other guys with no privacy and say, pull your dicks out and do peeing in front of each other.
Hold on. Is there a guy in your bathrooms who instructs everybody? All right, he's like, everybody, same time. Larry, do not go early.
It's just, to me, it's just out, like, using the bathroom is like the most private thing every person does.
Right.
And yeah, everybody has to do it, and it's not like whatever, you got to use the bathroom, you just have to do it. But it is a private thing.
Right.
It is insane to me that it's like, yeah, but you just do it in front of other dudes.
Right.
I hate it.
As a human being, there's like different things that you want to be happening in private. But the bathroom thing is the one where they've gone, well, yeah, but you got to go do it with other people, though. Like, like I wouldn't want to go.
There's not even a curtain. Hey, you know what? We're not even going to put a curtain up in between you.
Hey,
you just got to stand right by another man.
Here's another
and
thing.
Hope you don't get splashed with urine.
Here's another one they should fix. You know, when you get like a flu shot. I don't like that you're just sitting in the middle of Walmart and some lady's like rolling up your sleeve. Like that should be in a doctor's office with. I agree.
Not in front of an end display.
Exactly.
It's weird.
Yeah,
Everything's weird.
Abby, is there any other things that happen in private that need to stay private or that are happening in public that shouldn't be?
Honestly, I don't think people should go out. I don't think there should be restaurants. I don't think there should be public bathrooms. I think everybody should be able to take care of their own shit in their own house.
What's the deal with restaurants? People just eating
stop
dinner
bringing your shit to other places.
Stay in your homes.
Restaurants are weird.
Oh my God. I love this. Yeah, there's got to be I do think there's been improvements. I like the electronic hair, not hair dryers, the hand dryers. Not having to deal with the paper towels. It's not, you know, sometimes you got a really nice flow. But yeah, Jacob, I agree. And I feel bad for you because I can feel when we're like, you know, if we're having to go to the restroom at an event and there's a long line, there's dudes everywhere. It's just, I could feel like I was like, God, Jake doesn't like this. I don't like it either, but you really don't like it.
I just think it's gross. I just think could be a little more sanitary, and it just feels like there's very easy ways to make bathrooms like a more pleasant
here's the thing, though. Even
thing.
if you have the stall like we do in a women's restroom, like you still have the moment of awkward eye contact when you're exchanging the stall when someone's coming out of it and like you're going in.
Right.
I don't know if you have to experience that, but it's always like a kind of a uncomfortable moment. You're like, oh. Cool, going after you.
I wish since we've gone so deep, we could just keep going. The awkward moment that happens in the men's room is when there's like 5 urinals and 2 stalls, and there's people waiting in line for the stall, and then it's like this happened to New York Comic Con. A guy like turned around to check who in line needed to use the stall.
Oh, yeah.
He was like, yeah, he was like the bathroom director at that point. He was like the Francis Ford Poopala. So.
Jesus Christ. This should be our bonus.
Hey, the thing that's kind of stressful is like when it's a lot of people and the only stall that's open is the handicap stall, and I'm like, ooh, do I go in there or like never. Do I? You know, like,
hey,
it's the only one open. Do I go in or do I get in trouble? Or
I'm gonna have a real human moment with you guys right now.
Okay.
I did not realize that the bigger stalls were handicap stalls until maybe 2 years ago.
Well, they usually have a handicap symbol on the doors.
No, I don't think so. Not Chick-fil-A.
Yes, they. Maybe not at Chick-fil-A because Chick-fil-A doesn't
You
care.
can go to other bathrooms, yeah.
Anyways,
But usually they do. Yeah.
I think all of this is like a microcosm of the bigger thing that we're talking about, which is what we talked about a little bit on the Patreon episode. It's kind of hard to be a human being. It's not that easy. But we're going to start fixing problems. That's why we started this podcast. I'm glad that that's the back half of the podcast. I'm glad we're not like, all right, anyways, let's talk about this Peter Venkman figure right now. Abby, any other final thoughts to wrap up New York Comic Con? And
I mean, I'm even though the human experience is excruciating and humiliating a lot of the time, I'm grateful that I'm able to be a part of it and that we're all able to like get up and fight the obstacles to get our piece of the pie and to make our own memories and buy our own stuff and take those things home and treasure them. That's it, it's at least we showed up. That's good.
Yeah. And also I've been meaning to say this for a couple years. This jerk off who abandoned Phoebe and Trevor and was a bad dad. Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't like that. Callie's ex-husband is who I'm talking about. Oh, by the way, I have the best idea for a Ghostbusters scene. I shouldn't even say it publicly.
Don't.
I'm not going to. I'm going to tell you guys off air.
Okay.
All right.
And the crowd will have to wonder. Anything else? It's Ghostbuster stuff's great. Toys are happening. We'll things are going to wind down. Hopefully next year we'll start being able to get into some speculation about what's going to happen with the future of movies and stuff like that.
Yeah. Just for some notes, next week maybe we're going to do a Halloween centric, a horror episode. Just a generic, not gonna whatever. We're just gonna record some Halloween episode next week.
It would be a great.
When are we doing that? We're gonna have to do that like Monday, probably.
Yeah, probably Monday. It'd be a great YouTube thumbnail, like us like this, and then it just says, "Is Ghostbusters scary?" ? But I don't want to do the content.
It's not.
I just want the thumbnail. Abby, any other news and notes from you?
No, I'm all out of news and notes. I'm excited about continuing to record. It was really fun to do a bonus. So if you aren't a part of our Patreon yet, go ahead and sign up because it's a great place. We've got a Discord, and we have a YHS Patreon account on Instagram. So yeah, it's a really good value. So check it out. Absolutely.
And we'll get into this as more news develops, but it was reported yesterday Fede Alvarez is doing a sequel to Alien Romulus about David and I can't think of the character's name. Kaylee Spaney. I don't know. Actor's name. There's 2 Predator movies coming out next year, which is crazy.
Okay.
There's a secret Predator movie that I guess is not a secret anymore.
Yeah, but they're calling it I wonder what the deal is.
Yeah.
It must have Arnold in it or something.
Maybe. That would be fun.
Well, why keep a Predator? Why keep a Predator plot secret at this point? There's so many of those movies.
I mean, they used
the only reason I think it could be secret is if it ties into the original in some way.
Yeah. Maybe it's a Cloverfield movie.
Is the other one a sequel to Prey?
Yes, but it's not it's like the same crew and stuff, but it's not like a direct sequel to the characters in that movie, but it's supposed to be like another kind of remote location, maybe another time frame, but same kind of thing, like human against a predator type.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's called Badlands.
Badlands, yeah. Alan Grant's in it. It's Alan Grant versus a Predator. Hey, would watch 100%. And I don't mean Sam Neill. I mean literally in the Jurassic Park universe, there's a Predator and Alan Grant is in it. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, these ideas just keep bubbling up. I must be in a real creative headspace right now. All right, guys. Well, this was a lot of fun. Thank you for being here. Make sure you go back to HasLab if you want a really nice Ecto-1. If you don't want it, then I don't even know why you'd be listening to this podcast. Jacob Walsh, Abigail Gardner, thank you for your dedication. I like
Sorry I ranted about bathrooms for half an hour.
No, okay. It was good. I think
you gotta get it out. Literally. That stuff gets backed up.
It does.
Man, I'll tell you what, dude, it's just like a metaphor, you know, for like your brain.
Yeah, dude, like dreams are just your brain going to the bathroom. That's actually kind of true. I've heard that version of that. Yeah, because it's whatever you were digesting and taking in through the day.
Dreams are most obviously.
Hey, before we get out of here, I do want to say they finally released the score to Beetlejuice on Spotify, and I listened to it today. I'd been wanting to listen to it since the movie came out because I think the original Beetlejuice score is maybe like a top 5 of all time score. Yeah. I don't think this one is as good. It's got a lot of tracks that just feel like filler sounds to get from here to here, but the opening theme, he completely recomposed and re-recorded the opening theme. It is very good. It is very, very good. Yeah.
Very good. Very good.
Very, very good.
Danny Elfman.
New York Comic-Con.
He was there.
We missed him.
Their shit.
Yep.
Damn. We could do an episode on the people that I wish I'd met and interacted
now I'm
with.
thinking about what the top 5 scores of all time are. I think I've got 3 right off the top.
I have 3 off the top of my head.
Okay.
E.T.'s one of them.
E.T.
Jurassic Park is like undisputably, I think, the best sound score of all time. I'd maybe put Beetlejuice in there.
Jaws.
Jaws is great. But E.T. for sure.
I'd put the Elmer Bernstein Ghostbusters score.
Yeah, that's a good one. Maybe A New Hope. I don't know. Some good ones.
Yeah, Leia's theme.
All right.
Good stuff.
We'll figure it out.
This is another episode.
We'll figure that out next week.
Yeah.
We're starting a new episode. Hour and a half in.
I would do it. All right, everybody. Have a great night. Have a great day. Bye.
Bye.
Have a bitter tomorrow.
Do I? Yes, have some. Yes, have some.